All right, guys. What a day. What a day. Paul from hashtag big news. Big news. Micah Hyde signs a contract extension, and here's why that is a massive deal. First off, the Bills have been fighting to find safety help for a while. It's definitely been they haven't been shy about approaching that position in the draft. And they certainly haven't been shy about trying to cycle in players at that position through free agency. But Micah Hyde signs a new contract extension. Here's why that's important, right? So Hyde signs a 2-year extension, which means it leaves this year alone. And we're talking a true extension, right? So this is talking into 2022 and 2023. Big news, right? And I see Paul Pagano jumps on. Yeah, big news that Hyde joins Poyer, who signed an extension last offseason. So here's what this does. First off, I think this kind of sets the tenor for the way the Bills approach the draft. And the reason I say that is because think about it, right? You had a college season where you only saw about half the college teams actually play. And you need to make sure that the back end of your defense is ready to go. So you sign Poyer to an extension, and now you sign Hyde to an extension. So that tandem is going to stay together. Now, by the way, this is going to give Hyde a pretty nice pay raise. It puts him right about 8.5, 9 mil a year, like 9.5 some years. So this gives him a nice pay raise. And it's not going to create any friction because Hyde was in a contract year. So this was kind of a big deal. And this kind of pushes that off a little bit. Not only does it do that, but remember, Hyde is entering age 31. Season safeties have a longer shelf life than most of your other secondary positions. Hey, Andy, what's up? This is great news for the Buffalo Bills because you want to keep that tandem together as long as possible. Now that the Hyde extension is done, now you could start focusing on what are we going to do at linebacker, right? What are we going to do at to fill a couple of gaps along the offensive line? You're not really spending any money this year. That's kind of the neat thing about this is this really isn't going to cost you any money this year to add 2 years onto the back end of Hyde's contract. So great news. It is going to take him into age 33. This is definitely going to keep Hyde and Poyer together through 2022. They're not really going to be able to get rid of either player this year or next year, which obviously isn't the plan. But expect the Bills to continue to try and add to that position because when you have players and you sign them to these shorter term deals, right, these shorter term extensions, that doesn't mean you're going to not try to make that position better. The Bills are going to continue to try and search, but clearly they don't feel comfortable with what's available out there in the college market, right? In the draft, they don't feel like they're going to be able to draft a starter this year. It's why you signed Hyde to an extension, a 2-year extension now. You don't feel like you're going to be able to get that in the draft. The free agency market's going to be an absolute bloodbath. And to be honest with you, there was no reason to look at replacing Hyde and Poyer. There was no reason. If you were going to let money be the dictating factor, that probably was the wrong thing to do because this works. This tandem works. And you have to keep it together as much as possible. DZ says, nice. Brian Bowers, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, so crazy news on the Bills front. You had to kind of expect the contract extension season is here. This is when teams are going to try and lock up those players. But again, these contract extensions oftentimes speak to what the Bills feel the market is going to be like, and not necessarily reflective of the position right now. So I agree that that this is the right move for Buffalo right this second, right now. 100% agree. Couldn't agree more. Great move. Smart move. We know that this tandem works. You're giving Hyde market value. Realistically, Hyde on the open market's an $8.5-9 million player. He is. I mean, that's what he is. And that's what the Bills are going to pay him. They're going to pay him right at market value, which is great for him. And again, it talks about building that culture, right? You have to keep players around. The players who have earned it, you have to make sure that you're rewarding them. It's part of a winning culture. Very, very smart move by Brandon Beane to get this extension done. And again, it kind of cements like Leslie Frazier was a head coaching candidate. At some point, you're going to probably have to look at moving defensive coordinators because Frazier might take a head coaching job. Giving, again, this experienced tandem to another defensive coordinator down the line is a great thing. That's a great gift that you can give them. You're setting your team up for success by making smart moves like this. And this one's smart. Even if Hyde, now 2021 was a decline statistically, and even if Hyde continues to decline statistically, his impact to the team is definitely there. Teams do not want to throw deep because Micah Hyde is back there. So Buffalo definitely has the right combination. for this style of defense they want to run. And honestly, Hyde and Poyer would translate to almost any system. So this is a no-brainer move. Absolute no-brainer move. Let's see what's up in the comments section. Let's see. Dizzy says, better than what we were doing for years. Yeah, ain't that the truth? And again, Buffalo's been trying to address the safety position for some time. We can go back and look at Jaquan Johnson. They've brought in players to play safety, but they were always often really low draft picks, or they cycled through a lot of free agents. It was definitely a position that they continued to look for because those players often help you on special teams. But nobody was going to be replacing Hyde and Poyer this year, and I think that was kind of obvious. Let's see here. So, do you see Allen getting extended next season? The Allen conversation, this doesn't really renegotiate any money for you this year, and I don't think the Hyde and Poyer contract extensions impact Allen's money at all. I don't really think it's going to impact them at all. Elliot asks about Whitner. Skippy the Tub Rat says, good job in being we trust. Why wouldn't we? Let's see, what would the next move be in free agency coming up? Major asks that. Geekwad said, reward them for hard work. Yeah, it's exactly what you have to do. Daniel, what's up, buddy? Yeah, it's a great move. So if I were general manager, first off, so let me just put this out there. I'm not thinking that Mario Addison gets cut to make room for anybody right now. Mario Addison, you're not going to save any money that way. If he's cut, it'll be June 1st. It'll be post-draft. I think the only way you're going to free up money with Mario Addison is if you're able to get something to replace him in the draft or via free agency, and you're not going to get that money till after June. So specifically Mario Addison, I know a lot of people have been talking about that. I just don't think there's an answer there. I think Vernon Butler's probably next one to go if we're going to talk about players cut. But we're still a little ways away from that. Free agency is coming up very, very soon. And again, you take a look at that market, it could be a bloodbath. This could be one of the most exciting free agency periods. And Buffalo is keeping Hyde off the market in 2022. Again, brilliant move by him to lock down at age 32 and age 33 Micah Hyde through 2023. And this again keeps that tandem together for at least this year and next year. Solid move. John, another hot wife kept. Listen, we all have our way of, we all value players differently. I guess the best way for me to respond that. Yeah, good times. Andy C's thinking the focus is going to be on the front seven. Captain, obvious, I know. I mean, this does imply that. And that's an interesting point to bring up because I know you didn't say it, but Hyde is a very, very vocal leader on this defense. He runs the show in that secondary, and you're always kind of battling for CB2. You really don't have one on the roster right now that you're super comfortable. I know Brandon Beane has alluded that Dane Jackson has earned the opportunity to, compete with Levi Wallace for a CB2 spot, but even Levi Wallace has been competing for a CB2 spot every second he's been on this team and has never really been able to grasp it and take a hold of it. So I think as you continue to look for help in the secondary, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are linchpins to your success in being able to kind of constantly find new CB2s opposite Trey White. But now we're starting to see they're investing a lot of money in that cornerback position, in that secondary position where, what's the rub, right? Where do you have to save money? Is it going to be a linebacker? Or are the Bills going to go and just draft 2 linebackers in this upcoming draft? It's a very deep linebacker class. I actually literally just got done editing a video for you guys about 3 linebacker names to know. I was about to post it when I saw the news. So, linebacker could be a way that they're trying to save money. And what would help a linebacker? Having Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer together. Right? Like all this, it all helps. It's all part of the same argument. You do not want to be replacing Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer and be addressing your linebacker room. You don't want to do that. So this makes an absolute ton of sense. Yeah, this makes total sense. There's no situation that this doesn't make sense. All right. Well, unfortunately, guys, I work a 9 to 5. And if you're doing math on the Eastern Standard Time, it is 4:30 almost 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I have to jump off. Thank you to everybody for jumping on. I know we don't go live very much in the off season, but obviously this one was clearly a big need. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Chuck Christopher, Zaven Collins is in that 3 names video. Thank you. I'm actually going to upload it right now. So I promise I will upload that shorts video. It's only 60 seconds, and you'll be able to see everything right there. So, all right, guys, go Bills. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.